Hi there and welcome to Celeb Hut. It seems to be Diddy wasn't quite as smooth as he suspected he was attempting to perpetrate these supposed wrongdoings. Well, the most recent, see that 50 Cent is currently spilling, has to do with how Diddy purportedly put a hit on Jamie Foxx on the grounds that Jamie was spilling all the tea and Diddy's oddity offs and it was exacerbating. Diddy 50 uncovered that Jamie was going to uncover the genuine article that he saw during these oddity offs, and 50 Cent is guaranteeing that Diddy attempted to take Jamie out to safeguard himself and his oddity offs. So what kind of supposed insane mysteries did Jamie purportedly have that Diddy was able to kill to the point of stowing away, and being Jamie truly going to record his own claim against Diddy? Join the rundown. Now, assuming you've been following this entire media circuit encompassing Diddy these recent months, and you presumably have a ton of experience with his faux ass, these oddity offs, and the insane things that he did to others and constrained others to do to him and themselves. Supposedly, the bits of gossip about Diddy's gatherings have been going around since the 90s, yet it was only after last year that we got to know exactly the way that terrible they were, and they were genuine, terrible, way more regrettable than we might have at any point envisioned. Cassie's claim was that whenever we first got genuine knowledge of this gathering, since she set the ball moving for Diddy's destruction, she went all out in her claim, discussing her experience with Diddy and what a horrendous encounter it was for her. She discussed how Diddy had a preference for male escorts, and as per her, he would drive her to go on escort sites, recruit dark male escorts with BBCs, and afterward compel her to get physically involved with them while he watched. And purportedly he wasn't simply watching, he was additionally determining a kind of delight from it, since he would coordinate the oddities, let her and the escorts know what he believed that them should do, and he would likewise record them. Yet strangely, Cassie wasn't the main casualty who blamed Diddy for recording these insane activities on the grounds that Lil Bar additional lie uncovered Diddy for exactly the same thing, seeing that he continuously hosted a camera during these gatherings. 50 Cent and Jamie Foxx himself. Jamie was much of the time behind the camera at these gatherings, so he had full information on what was happening. Yet it was dissimilar to a great many people who went to these gatherings. Jamie didn't have the foggiest idea how to keep his mouth shut, and that is the way he wound up on Diddy's awful side, purportedly to where Diddy supposedly attempted to have him killed. He once discussed the wildness at Diddy's gatherings and the way in which Diddy confided in him enough to have a behind-the-scenes camera recording this freaky stuff that was occurring at the party. You realize you were unable to try and get in this party, so how I got in this party is, I appear with a camera puff, yo. You got to allow me to film this, the entire thing. We really want to archive this Playboy. Yet the fascinating thing about this is that, as per 50, the federal authorities have been taking a gander at Diddy and his obscure gatherings for quite a while. Yet, for clear reasons, they needed to maintain these examinations mystery. This makes sense of the insane strikes at Diddy's homes off by country security 2 or 3 weeks prior, yet JY doing freaky stuff is his business. And for however long it's consensual and not for certain youthful underage individuals, I get it's anything but nothing to joke about, right? I mean, it's wild. However, at that point, assuming that they're grown-ups, it ought to be okay. Yet purportedly, that is not the case in light of the fact that large numbers of Diddy's casualties didn't agree to these oddity offs, and he purportedly constrained it on them despite the desire to the contrary. Cassie said it. Lil Bar expressed it in that, as per 50 Cent, there are significantly more individuals who did either power into freak-offs or attempted to drive into freak-offs. Purportedly, his previous awful kid craftsman, Artisan Betha, is one of those individuals. Mace and Diddy have been on awful terps since Mace left Awful Kid Records. And as per 50 Cent, this is on the grounds that supposedly Diddy attempted to push him onto one of those oddity offs during his time under Awful Kid Records. Purportedly, this caused the hamburger between Mace and Diddy in the end, driving Mace to cut attachments with the name. 50 asserted that Mace purportedly saw a ton of peculiar and Terry things during his experience with Terrible Kid Records, and this is the genuine explanation that Mace left the rap business. He needed to find God, you all, and when he was prepared to get once more into rap, he battled Diddy until he was delivered for his agreement, yet Diddy didn't let him go like that on the grounds that supposedly he would not pay Mace the cash he owed him. And like that wasn't terrible enough. 50. He asserted that Diddy went about knocking Mace in the business and got him boycotted. You realize I did one collection with Mace, one collection. How much cash do you think I owe this person? One collection. And afterward he turned into a phony minister and proceeded to con individuals, and afterward you all going to allow him to toss soil on the God's name. Yet fortunately Mama had the option to track down his own balance in the business. And despite the fact that he never got his cash from Diddy, he got away with his respect. Yet you all need to know the wild truth about this, is that as per 50 individuals in the business have referred to the extent that back as the 90s about Diddy being on the DL, and how he supposedly for his other young fellows to participate in DL exercises with him. Sue Knight previously dropped a few clues about this during the 9S, asserting that Diddy was on the DL, yet at the time, individuals didn't accept him since he and Diddy had that harsh East Coast competition continuing, and they felt that he was going after Diddy with counterfeit tales. I could go on and on about 50 Cent, since he did not set in stone to uncover Diddy for longer than I can recall. There was this time when he posted an abnormal image of Diddy and Rick Ross, and he inscribed it something that wasn't correct. 50 Cent stays squeezing Diddy's neck at day in and day out. And in any event, when he was debilitated in the clinic, he actually carved out an opportunity and solidarity to toss some more shade at Diddy, saying, "I can never again help you folks soon. You will be generally gay and cheerful. You are presently left under the administration of Puffy Daddy. Report to the closest rainbow." Genuinely, it only sort of checks out that 50 is keeping his foot on Diddy's neck, particularly with what we are familiar 50. As child mom to Pan Euphoria, and how she's been filling in as a soarer, purportedly for Diddy for quite a while, which is low-key embarrassing for 50. Thinking about that, Diddy is his greatest operation, while 50 Cent actually has more stories to tell, and he asserted that Diddy supposedly professes to guide youthful and up-and-coming rappers in the business, yet rather he supposedly involves this as an inclusion to do awful things to them, and 50 gave a few models, like YK Osiris entertainer Orlando Brown, and Realm star Prasher Dim. You all realize that these folks shared practically speaking rights. They were all evidently coached by Diddy at some point in their vocations, and purportedly, they generally turned out to be swayed by him and had their professions demolished when they attempted to confront him. Basher Dim was one of those youthful breakout stars in the hit show Realm, and everybody accepted that he planned to make a big deal about himself after the show, yet tragically, that never happened. 50 is presently blaming Diddy for purportedly destroying Bashir's life in light of the fact that Bashir needed to shut down those oddities. First experience with Diddy got through his chief Charlie Mack, who assisted him with handling his job as Hockey Lion on Domain. Truly, Charlie initially acquainted Basher with Will Smith, who then, at that point, turned into a tutor to Basher. Let Will know that he truly fantasized being a rapper and not an entertainer. So Will chose to help him out and acquainting with Diddy, who was perhaps of the most compelling figure in rap music. And around then we figured this may be ideal, glancing back at ever. One of the charges of unfortunate behavior among Diddy and Will and the M they coach. We ought to have seen the warnings waving in the air. There were murmurs on the roads that Diddy supposedly disrupted Brasher's vocation when Bashir became worn out on the wild exercises. And it could make sense of why Basher never hit a major after Domain and Puma, right, truly upheld this up, and young fellows have gone out shouting to move away from them in their mentorship. Basher Dim went out shouting, August WW. As the only state, and I surmise he was truly wiped out, he wanted assistance. Yet beside Panther Right, as per 51 individual who experienced Diddy's rage the most was Jamie, on the grounds that Jamie nearly lost his life. Jamie confronted a serious well-being emergency last year, encountering a health-related crisis on a film set while his family decided to stay quiet about the subtleties. Jim's little girl, Karen, stepped in with an assertion, saying from the Fox family we needed to share that my dad, Jamie Foxx, encountered the unexpected problem yesterday. Fortunately, because of his speedy activity and extraordinary consideration, he is now en route to recuperation. We know how darling he is and value your requests. The family requests protection during this time, yet before long, we figured out we suspected as much. They were the point at which a few groups in the business who appeared to be in the loop sort of implied that he was a survivor of an assault, for instance. Steve Harvey said, "I don't for even a moment truly understand what happened, man. I was dazed in light of the fact that Jamie's fit this fella. He doesn't do anything, man. This man is this fit. So I was concerned, man, so I trust all that works out. I'm almost certain it will." Martin Lawrence likewise said, I hope everything turns out great for him. He's responded to my requests consistently. He's not just quite possibly the best performer we have around here, yet he's an extraordinary individual, and he's a certified individual. Subscribe Celeb Hut for more videos.